right now about to be passing over the Charlotte area.
Because the hurricane is so unpredictable, emergency officials have a difficult time deciding just how to tackle the problems it will cause. But plans to keep people safe are underway.
At this time, based on the reports that we have received in a preliminary nature, the Grady Cole Center is going to be open for people who have been forced out of their homes as a result of the damage or as a result of loss of power or for whatever reason.
There's even one report tonight that about 90 miles from Charlotte in Columbia, South Carolina, winds are blowing in excess of 80 miles per hour. And maybe from just looking at me, you can tell that those winds are headed right this way.
Already the force of the winds have caused damage in several parts of the city. Emergency officials say it will probably get worse before it gets any better. It looks as though Hugo will make a strong appearance in Charlotte. Right now, the only thing emergency officials advise is hold on and keep safe. Ron Fudge, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Let's take a look at storm track radar at this hour, show you what it looks like. We have a lot. That complete red donut around us is some fairly heavy rain, as you might well know. The beeping you hear around us are emergency messages coming in, and we also have the ham network who are reporting all sorts of problems around the region. If you don't have to go anywhere this morning, don't. The best thing to do is to wait this thing out. There's too much debris in the streets, and we've been hearing that kind of report all throughout the daytime hours today.
I'm CULLEN Ferguson, and this just in. Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools are going to be closed today. Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools are going to be closed.
Friday, 6 a.m., a total Carolina assault.
The eye of the hurricane right now is moving over the Charlotte area, and wind gusts are up to 90 miles an hour with sustained winds around 45 to 50 miles an hour. All across the Piedmont, people are taking precautions, many hiding inside interior hallways away from windows. If you're not doing that, you probably would be well advised to do that. There are unofficial reports of a 10-foot wall of water crashing into the coast. Channel 9's Jim Bradley is joining us live via satellite now with more on how hard Myrtle Beach was hit. Jim?
Cullen, it's been hit pretty hard. There has been some substantial damage at Myrtle Beach. We do know that some roofs have been knocked off. A lot of power lines are down. Windows have been broken. We understand there may be some looting going on, and we do know that State Patrol people are keeping people out of Myrtle Beach right now. A lot of people anxious to get in. We can see a lot of cars on the road out here. They are, as we understand, not letting people in right now. So that's the situation, Cullen.
Yes, and Governor Carroll Campbell has put out the message that ordinarily the National Guard is not armed in situations like this, but in the case of this storm, they are armed, and they're warning everyone not to loot. Thank you very much, Jim. And certainly daylight will soon be arriving down there, and they'll be getting their first good look at the damage at Myrtle Beach. Well, it's getting to be more dangerous by the minute outside. Winds have been clocked at 85 miles an hour here at the Channel 9 studios. We have crews out covering the city and what's happening. Our B.J. Harrison's just gotten back in. B.J., what's been going on out there?
It is more frightening than you realize, Cullen. We went outside about 4:30 this morning, and things were relatively calm. Wind, rainy, nothing we weren't used to, nothing we hadn't seen before. But then about 5 o'clock this morning, it got very dangerous. I literally got slammed against the wall of a building. I think the most frightening thing, though, is the downed power lines. You never know which ones are hot or which ones will kill you. That's why power lines are so dangerous. The trees were snapped and uprooted. They're everywhere on both sides of the street. They're across the street. It's very dangerous.
We here at Channel 9 have taken a bad hit from the storm. Our local broadcast tower on our front lawn, a landmark here at Channel 9, fell down about 15 minutes ago. We have another tower in Charlotte, so we will be able to continue to bring you broadcasts and satellite shots from the coast. But our tower out here on the front lawn has fallen and broken, and we have downed power lines as well.
Well, Cullen, we're back here at Wrightsville Beach for the first time since 2 o'clock this morning, when we were evacuated by Wrightsville Beach Police because of a fear of 12 to 15-foot storm surges. Well, we're not sure if those storm surges hit along Wrightsville Beach or not. It is still dark and there is still no electricity in town. But from the looks of things, the damage here on Wrightsville Beach is not as bad as the police had feared.
Well, a high wind advisory is in effect, and that will continue in effect until noon for both North and South Carolina. Essentially, if you're in the Channel 9 viewing area, you're under a high wind advisory. There is also a tornado watch in effect until noon. A watch simply means the conditions are right for the development of tornadoes. We've already seen at least one confirmed tornado. That was in Hartsville, just to the south and east of Charlotte in South Carolina. That was about 2 o'clock this morning. An unconfirmed report of a tornado in and through Mint Hill earlier this morning, about 3 o'clock in the morning. And as far as what we can expect out of the rain, a flood watch in effect for both North and South Carolina. The rain is quite heavy. We recorded at least 2 inches here at Weather Center 9. Some areas could see as much as 6 to 8 inches before the heavy rains are over with this morning.
Here are the first pictures of the mass destruction that has occurred along Myrtle Beach. For all of you concerned about the situation down there, when Hugo hit about midnight, it hit Myrtle Beach hard. There is no official word on how high the storm surge was there when the storm came ashore, but estimates are 8 to 10 feet right now. A wall of water washing away the beachfront and destroying hundreds of thousands of dollars in property. In these pictures, you get some idea of just how bad it was there at Myrtle Beach. Some are, in fact, calling it the worst of the century, including Hurricane Hazel in 1954. Not only was the coast hit hard with much damage in Charleston and Myrtle Beach, here in Charlotte, there are mass power outages, some 200,000 customers without power, wires down, of course, trees down all across the city, and there's flooding. And to the south of Charlotte, a confirmed tornado earlier this morning in Hartsville, South Carolina. There was also an unconfirmed tornado in Mint Hill hours ago. And about an hour ago, Mecklenburg County Police reported a funnel cloud sighted along Reams Road near I-77. And so far, we know of 3 deaths as a result of the storm in the Carolinas. An infant in Union County died when a tree fell on the house the 6-month-old child was in and fell onto the crib. And 2 people died in South Carolina when Hugo ripped through the Palmetto State last night, one in the Columbia area, another down in Berkeley County north of Charleston. Now, this is a live look at some of the destruction and damage and flooding in Charlotte. This is around Idlewild and Rama Road, and there you see traffic signals down in the street. We can't really tell there in the distance. There seems to be debris, trees down in the street there, and that is the story over much of Charlotte this morning. Very difficult conditions around the city getting around. These pictures should convince you to stay home. Most area schools are closed. Winds continue to be high. Water can move dangerously fast across streets and, of course, in creeks and streams around the Charlotte area. And so you're advised to be staying at home where you are safe. There's power lines down that can cause electrocution. So very dangerous conditions outside. Some of the worst damage of the entire storm, of course, occurred in Charleston, where the storm came ashore last night. Mayor Joseph Riley says that city has suffered damage unprecedented in recent memory. 30 major downtown buildings are reported to have collapsed. Boats have washed up on the streets of the city. People have been reported trapped in a collapsed condominium. We're continuing to wait for further details from Charleston. Channel 9's Jim Bradley has been standing by at the WACCAMAW, South Carolina area near Myrtle Beach. He has the latest on the situation down there. Jim?
Well, Cullen, you know, overnight when we were here, all you could do is really feel how powerful this storm was. Now, with the morning's light, you can really see how powerful it is. A 90, 100-foot tree sheared off at about 10 feet, and there are others around here that look the same.
My wife and I were laying in bed around 12 o'clock. She was wanting me to turn to the news. Is it going to come? Is it going to come? I said, it's not coming. And sure enough, it got us.